Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Nicole Frolick and I'm going to be doing your monthly energy read. We're going to go into October and look into, see what's in store. Let's look into what is in store for the month of October. And I just want to give a shout out to all of you. You've been so great in my live chats. It's been so great getting to know you more. Thanks for showing up on my live tarots and the podcast and any other videos that I do live. Thank you very much. I hope you guys are all great. And we've got a big full moon in Aries coming up this Friday, October 2nd, which I got to tell you, we're ending some big cycles here. It's about moving on from things, and it may be a heated full moon, so just watch out for that. All right, what do we got in store for, okay, we have the first card. Peridot, the bringer of joy, is the first card out. Whoa, a second. Okay, what else do we have coming out in October? Oh, wow, okay. We have Redocrosite, self-love, next to bringer of joy. That's interesting. Because I feel like a lot of us could use someone bringing some joy right now after all those tower readings that we've been seeing, and self-love showing a focus for the month of October on self, healing, restoration, getting back to the things that really fill your cup, bring you joy. We'll take a look a little bit more into that. So we've got some beautiful peachy energy of the sacral and solar plexus chakra there. Okay, what else is coming up in the month of October that we need to know about? Okay, I think this one came up actually last month. We have pearl, purity. And what else? What else is coming up for the month of October 2020 that we need to be aware of? Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. We have clear quartz, light embodied. Interesting. Okay, let me sit with the cards for just a moment and I'll be right back with the reading. Okay, wow. Wow. This message is so timely, even for me. I'm really feeling it on a very deep level, to be quite honest. And I know that a lot of you in my alchemy program are going to be feeling this because the Discord chat has been talking about this a lot. Our first card, Peridot, the bringer of joy. Where do I start here, guys? You know, we've all been going through a lot. 2020 has been one massive year of triggers. And this stone, Peridot, is also from Atlantean times known as the stone of the hidden sun. And I really feel that for many of us, we've been going through some experiences where we felt like that sun has been hidden. And with this full moon in Aries coming up too, not like starting off this entire month. And remember, this month is a 2 full moon month. There's a blue moon in Taurus, full moon in Taurus at the end of this month as well. So we're going through this whole cycle and through the month of October. And I feel that for this one in particular, Peridot, it's really kind of letting us know the importance of finding our joy, okay? And also to know that there is a lot of negativity being pummeled at us through media, through news, through politics, through divisions and labels and all this stuff that's happening right now. Everything is designed to separate us and take us out of union and to really take us out of our joy, to be quite honest. And so what this card is kind of telling me is that October, it's really important for us to kind of, in a way, take things into our own hands. take matters into our own hands. Now, how does this start? It starts on a personal level. It starts with you looking at your life. Now, for many of you, if you're much like what's happening in my tarot readings, if you're going through anything like similar to what I'm going through, you're going through a major cycle change. And you're realizing that nothing lasts forever and some things just have to be let go. And as we bring in more light, as we align ourselves and collect all the fractal parts of us and bring those into harmony and heal the past traumas and the dramas and do all of that, our outside world has to change because we are essentially alchemizing our soul. We're alchemizing our entire existence that is tied into lifetimes past and future lifetimes as well. And so with Peridot coming up, it's kind of signaling, it's kicking off this theme here of knowing that the darkness is going to leave. But with that is also some things that we've maybe been attached to or holding on to for quite some time. And that those things haven't changed or alchemized with us as we've been alchemizing. And it's important for us to really kind of pay attention to what brings us joy and to not sacrifice that or finally choose our joy as opposed to putting it on the back burner for other things in our lives or other people in our lives. And so this is really kind of coming through for me. That's going to be a theme that we're going to be addressing for the month of October. It does signal also a rebirth, which is interesting because that's coming up in a couple other cards as well. We are literally rebirthing ourselves. There is that process in place. And of course, for all of you in my alchemy program, you know we've been talking about that Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is still making its, it's still got a strong effect on us through the astrological star skies because of all the retrogrades. And they're, with Saturn just recently going direct, finally it's going to start making its way further and further away from Pluto, and it won't have the same effects. But remember, that conjunction, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, is one of the most alchemical transformational conjunctions that happens every 35 years. So we are now really kind of putting the final touches on leaving a massive cycle in our lives, and it's showing up in certain ways this month in areas of your life that maybe haven't been addressed up until this point. Okay? So really focus on that. On a world stage from that perspective, just really disengage with the negativity. If there's anything that you're like really engaging with to stay up to date or to stay informed, or even if it's like debating people, it may just not even be worth it at this point. There's too much of a stranglehold on the manipulation of the energies right now that isn't really even worth it, because what I'm also picking up for this month is there is the opportunity to drastically strengthen your intuitive and psychic abilities through this transformation, through the cycle closing and opening a new one. So the next card that we had was Rodochrosite, self-love, which is really interesting because Peridot, what we just had before, is all about bringing in self-love. And as part of it, forgiveness and self-love are needed. And, just on a quick personal note, I'm really having to put some focus on some of my own needs that I haven't really been paying attention to. I haven't really addressed in certain relationships, and I'm really needing to right now. And there is forgiveness for myself, forgiveness for the people in my relationships, that cycles are closing out now. And I have to be able to let go. And so for many of you, you're also going to be going through these big cycle changes because you are literally rebirthing. You're rebirthing. So self-love, compassion is very much needed this month for you, to be compassionate to self, to also hold compassion for those that you're letting go as well, and to know that sometimes our journeys part ways. And perhaps it may not even be a person, it may be a job, it may be a project, it may be something to that nature that's the cycle's closing, and it's time to be thankful for the lessons learned and moving on, because if it's not growing with you as you are transforming, we really do need to let those things go. There is some pain, some grief, some loss sometimes, depending on how severe the cycle or big the cycle, how much of an impact it had on you is. But that is kind of what's happening here. And so self-love is going to be really important. And to remember the true lessons there, and that self-love is one of our most important responsibilities on this journey. Okay, and that's what society tries to program us out of. So really learning self-love and coming from that place and taking action is so important. Now, the next card, very interestingly enough, came up that was Pearl, and that is purity. What I love about Pearl is Pearl, when we think about the oyster, that grain of sand that begins as the pearl begins as a grain of sand, and it has to go through many like trials and tribulations and secretions to like finally get it to become the pearl, which is really kind of a metaphor for all of the ups and downs that we have to go through, the journeys, the dramas, the traumas, the pains, all of that kind of stuff. And so there's this recognizing of that along this journey, to remember that as we go through these cycle changes and we now begin a new cycle, a cycle where part of us, do we really know who this new us is? Like we're kind of dipping our toes into new ponds of who we really want to be and how we want to treat ourselves and show up as. And so of course it's going to be a little daunting. It's going to be a little new. So it's important to know that there will be growing pains with this, growing pains throughout this month as you start to exercise your own needs, okay, and what is right for you. Now, interestingly enough, too, that I wanted to mention here with Pearl is that it is the stone that represents the first third of a woman's life. And I'm just kind of, the message that kind of came in for me when I was looking at this card was more of like the inner child is really kind of calling to all of us, both male and female, and that there is the purity of the inner child, the essence, the innocence, I should say, that is calling us to remember the tenderness within us that is wanting so much to express things from maybe a little bit more of a vulnerable place as we go through our healing, as we go through or perhaps even revisit some of these traumas that we're using to heal us and alchemize us into these new cycles, okay? Because remember, as you start to hold more light, you're letting go of some of the darkness, and the darkness is really just those old traumas and pains that we've carried from through this lifetime, and also perhaps brought into this lifetime from other past lifetimes. So be mindful of your inner child and calling. I know I'm working with quite a few of you on the inner child sessions, which I'm really excited about. I'm so happy that so many of you are doing this inner child work. Again, I always say it, it's the most transformational work you can do. And it opens your psychic abilities like nothing else I have worked with. So I'm just going to say that. And then our final clear quartz, light embodied, which I was just kind of talking about, with Pearl also talking about the rebirth, okay, because it is like a birthing process, rebirth, that brings in that kind of energy. We are essentially rebirthing a version of us that is of more light. We're embodying more light, which means we have to carry the responsibility of that embodied light and be the model. And how do we engage with people in our relationships from that place? How do we engage with the opportunities that are coming our way now? Because more opportunities do come to you as you take on the journey of healing to clear out all of the karma, which it frees you up to enjoy enjoy the fruits of your labor, so to speak. So this month to me is to remember that we are all of the light, to remember that that is why we all came here, is to bring more light to this planet, to bring it to life, to shine it into the darkest crevices of this planet, and to not get pulled into the darker agendas that manipulate our energies from doing so. Stay on track with your own journey. Stay in tune to what is important to you and brings you joy, and be ready to let go of certain cycles and people, and perhaps even jobs or things you've been working on. belief systems, all of those things. We've got to be ready to let go of them as we transform ourselves, especially if those things aren't transforming at the rate that we are or choosing. So nothing lasts forever. Change is inevitable. And every time you choose you to heal you, to find more love, to build more light, you are alchemizing yourself and you are saying, I want to move on to the next cycle. I'm ready to level up. I'm ready to do the work I signed up for on this planet. So that's kind of what's happening for October. I can't say that it's going to be an easy month, so to speak. I feel like it's going to be testing us in ways where, how much do you want to like embrace this new cycle? Are you really ready to let go of those old cycles that have been holding you back, people that have been holding you back? Or perhaps, I shouldn't even say people that have been holding you back, but you've outgrown, or maybe they've outgrown you, or they haven't grown. I don't know. But either way, some things just have to end. And so rebirth is happening, and it couldn't be happening at a better time. I'm saying, like, yeah, let's rebirth the light. Let's bring it in. Let's shine it up, because we've all got jobs to do down here, and finding that joy and that happiness is one of those jobs. So that's my message for you guys today. I hope it's helpful for the month of October. And just beware of this new moon on Friday, okay? Because it's going to be a little fiery. There's a lot of fiery aspects to it, with Mars dueling off with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter right now. There's just a lot going on. And Chiron is conjunct with Mars in, or conjunct the moon, I should say, in Aries. So there's a lot of healing aspects and maybe some pains coming up. So triggers are likely to happen over this full moon. All right, guys. So thank you so much. If you guys want to work with me, there are a lot of options. You can work one-on-one with me. You can join my membership group, Alchemy, which I gotta say, guys, I'm loving the Discord chat. I love getting to know all of you more. It's making me look forward to the next live call on the second Sunday of October, because now I actually know more about you, and it's gonna be so much fun. And so all of the links for that is below. Of course, tarot readings, if you need that, it's below as well. Thanks, guys, so much. If you want to check out any more information about me, just head on over to my website, NicoleFrolick.com, and also my podcast, Enlighten Up, comes out every Tuesday. We go live on YouTube and Facebook. I take your questions now. I've got Laura Eisenhower coming on next Tuesday, and you can also find that on Spotify and iTunes if you just prefer the audio version. Guys, I love you so much. Have a wonderful month of October, and I'll be back with you real soon.